Some places in Florida look expensive, but there are still cities where people are living on under $50,000 a year and doing it comfortably. The problem is, most of those places don't show up in typical best places lists. They're quieter, less talked about, but for the right person, they can offer a much better lifestyle than the popular cities. In this video, we're counting down the top hidden gem cities in Florida where you can live on under $50,000, based on affordability, livability, and real-world cost. And more importantly, I'll show you who each place is actually best for, so you can find what truly fits your budget. Let's get started. Number 10. Sebring. If your goal is simple, low cost, low stress, and a slower pace, Sebring is one of the strongest hidden gems in Florida. Compared to coastal cities, housing here is significantly cheaper, and that alone makes a big difference on a $50,000 budget. You're not dealing with high rent or constant financial pressure. The lifestyle is quiet and predictable. Small-town environment, less traffic, and a strong sense of community. For people in this income range, places like Sebring make sense because your money stretches much further. This works best for retirees, remote workers, and anyone who values affordability over excitement. The downside is limited job opportunities and fewer entertainment options. But if your income is stable, Sebring can offer one of the most comfortable lifestyles at this budget level. Number 9. Lake City. Lake City is another underrated option that doesn't get much attention, but offers real value. Located in North Florida, it provides lower housing costs compared to most parts of the state, along with easy access to major highways. That makes commuting or traveling more manageable compared to more isolated small towns. The overall cost of living is low, and daily expenses tend to be more affordable than in larger cities. For this income level, places like Lake City are worth considering because they offer both affordability and accessibility. This works best for families, budget-focused individuals, and people looking for a practical place to live. The downside is that it lacks the energy and amenities of bigger cities. Still, for many people, the cost savings make it a smart choice. Number 8. Bartow. Bartow is a smaller city that often gets overlooked, but it offers a strong balance between affordability and location. It's close to larger areas like Lakeland, which means you're not completely cut off from jobs or services. Housing remains relatively affordable, and neighborhoods are quieter compared to major cities. The pace of life here is slower, which can be a big advantage for people trying to manage expenses. For this type of budget, places like Bartow stand out because they give you access without high costs. This works best for families, retirees, and people who want a low-cost base near growing areas. The downside is fewer local job options, so commuting may be necessary. But for many people, that trade-off is worth it. Number 7. Palatka. Palatka is one of those places most people overlook, but that's exactly why it remains affordable. Located along the St. Johns River, it offers a quieter lifestyle with noticeably lower housing costs compared to nearby areas like St. Augustine. You're close enough to access larger cities when needed, but far enough to avoid higher prices and crowds. For people trying to stay under a $50,000 budget, cities like Palatka make sense because your day-to-day expenses stay manageable. This works best for retirees, remote workers, and anyone looking for a slower, more relaxed environment. The downside is limited job growth locally, and fewer entertainment options compared to bigger cities. But if your focus is affordability and simplicity, Palatka can be a very practical choice. Number 6. Quincy. Quincy is a small city near Tallahassee that offers one of the lowest cost of living environments in Florida. Housing prices here are significantly lower than the state average, which makes it attractive for people on tighter budgets. At the same time, being close to Tallahassee gives you access to jobs, healthcare, and services without having to live in a higher cost area. For this budget level, Places like Quincy are worth considering because they combine affordability with proximity to opportunity. This works best for families, state workers, and people who want access to a larger city without paying for it directly. The downside is that Quincy itself is very quiet, and development is limited. But for many people, the cost savings and location make it a strong hidden gem. And if you think these cities are affordable, wait until you see the top 5, because this is where your money can stretch even further in Florida. Number 5. Immokalee. Immokalee is one of the most affordable places in South Florida, but it comes with a very different lifestyle. Compared to nearby cities like Naples, the cost difference is significant. Housing and daily expenses are much lower, making it possible to live within a tight budget. However, this isn't a typical suburban environment. It's more rural and community-focused, with fewer amenities. For people trying to stay under $50,000, cities like Immokalee can work because the basic cost of living is low. This works best for workers in agriculture, service industries, or people who prioritize affordability above all else. The downside is limited infrastructure, fewer services, and fewer lifestyle options. But for the right person, it provides one of the lowest cost entries into South Florida living. Number 4. Live Oak. Live Oak is a quiet North Florida town that offers strong affordability with a simple lifestyle. Housing costs are low, and daily expenses are manageable, which makes it easier to stay within a limited income. The city has a small town feel, with less congestion and a more relaxed pace of life. For people on a $50,000 budget, places like Live Oak are appealing because they reduce financial pressure. This works best for retirees, remote workers, and anyone who prefers a slower, less expensive environment. The downside is limited job opportunities and fewer amenities compared to larger cities. But for many people, the affordability and simplicity are exactly what make Live Oak a hidden gem. Number 3. Inverness. Inverness is one of those places that quietly offers a very comfortable lifestyle on a lower income. Located in Citrus County, it provides a mix of affordability and livability that's becoming harder to find in Florida. Compared to coastal cities, housing costs are significantly lower, and everyday expenses are more manageable. At the same time, you're not completely isolated. Nearby areas like Crystal River give you access to additional services and outdoor activities. For people trying to stay under $50,000, cities like Inverness are often worth considering because they offer a balance between cost and quality of life. This works best for retirees, remote workers, and budget-conscious individuals who still want some level of convenience. The downside is slower economic growth and fewer high-paying job opportunities. But for many people, the affordability and calm environment make it a strong long-term option. Number 2. Deltona. Deltona is one of the more surprising cities on this list. It's located near Orlando, which means you're close to a major job market, but the cost of living is still lower than many surrounding areas. Compared to Orlando itself, housing here is more affordable, and neighborhoods tend to be quieter and more residential. That combination makes it appealing for people who want access to opportunity without paying city-level prices. For people in this income range, cities like Deltona are often considered because they provide both affordability and location advantage. This works best for working families, commuters, and people who want to stay connected to a larger city. The downside is commuting. Traffic can become a factor if you're traveling regularly into Orlando. But for many people, the trade-off between cost and access makes Deltona a very practical choice. Number 1. Gainesville. Gainesville takes the number 1 spot because it offers something most low-cost cities don't: balance. Yes, it's relatively affordable compared to major Florida cities. But more importantly, it has a strong local economy, driven by education, healthcare, and research. That creates more job stability than many smaller towns. The city also has a younger energy due to the university presence, which brings more amenities, services, and overall activity. Compared to other cities in this price range, Gainesville feels more complete. For people looking to live under $50,000, cities like Gainesville are often considered because they offer both affordability and opportunity. This works best for students, professionals, and families who want a mix of cost savings and lifestyle. The downside is that certain areas are becoming more expensive as demand increases. But overall, Gainesville remains one of the most well-rounded hidden gems in Florida. And that wraps up our list of the hidden gem cities in Florida where you can live under $50,000. From quiet towns like Live Oak and Sebring to more balanced options like Gainesville and Deltona, there are still places in Florida where your money can go a long way. The key is not just finding something cheap, but finding something that actually fits your lifestyle. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment which Florida topic you want next. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.